Today's letter is from Sad Frog in Liverpool. Sad Frog writes, Dear Miss Lila, you have scores of admirers. My question for you is, how do I get people to like me? It is a very simple answer. Without taking my clothes off. Oh, well, that is certainly more difficult. To answer that, one would need a true genius, a mastermind even. So Kratos has brought in... Professor? If I may interject. Are you finished?
Yes.
Professor,
It's pronounced ah.
is that Welsh?
No, it's ah, as in I haven't got the slightest idea. I chose that little sobriquet because I cannot think of a sufficiently evil name to fit me. Professor Malevolent, Professor Wicked,
Sufficiently evil name.
Professor Nefarious, Professor Dishonorable,
If I may ask,
Professor Nasty.
Professor, can you answer the question?
Yes, certainly. How to get people to like you? Well, in order to make people like you, you need to take over the world and then force them to be fond of you or face years of torture in your secret dark dungeon.
Professor, are you a supervillain?
Yes, certainly. But we do prefer the term, the politically correct term, of criminal masterminds.
Kratos, where did you find this expert? Well, Sad Frog, please consider taking your clothes off. Please send your questions to askacamharlot@gmail.com, and until the next time, what's your pleasure, love?
Bulldog. French bulldog. Oh, yeah. Oh.
Do not call her. Do not call her.
Hello, Lila dear.
I do not talk around. I find it in bad taste.
Care to hear what I've heard about you?
You certainly know everything about everyone.
For all those questions in life,
How?
which is the best career move?
I hatch plots. I don't always execute them.
Am I compatible with my loved one?
You be my sweetheart.
Or why is this woman in my home eating all of my scones? Now there's help with Amelia Drydoppel's fortune scones. Open this delicious pastry and inside you'll find a piece of paper that reveals your fate. And it's written by someone who actually comes from the future.
I am Amelia from the future.
Or so she says. Amelia Drydoppel's fortune scones. The original, often imitated, never duplicated. Pay no attention to those Chinese fortune cookies. They stole that idea from us. Amelia Drydoppel's fortune scones. For entertainment purposes only. Amelia Drydoppel or her future self is not responsible if you swallow the paper with your fortune and choke. It probably said that in that paper, so it was your destiny.
Thank you, Kratos. Let's see. Fan in Windermere writes, Dear Miss Lila, I am fond of the guests that you have on your show. Can you please tell me anything about them that is of revelation? Well, let's see. I've had a supervillain, a spy, 2 time travelers, an airship captain. You know, the kind of everyday lad you find on the street. I'm afraid there's nothing about them that is of revelation. Kratos, no. Do not call her. Do not call her. Kratos, interrupt the connection. Shag it.
Hello, Lila dear.
Hello, Chastity dear. Kratos and I were just talking about how deplorable it is that we do not have enough time to accommodate you for this show.
Pity, especially considering all the time you gave that traitorous Obi Spike. She works as a spy and then disposes of those who know too much.
Oh, I would not worry about her. I do not talk around. I find it in bad taste.
Not as bad taste as the designs of that gray swat. She says she holds terrible grudges against all who ever dared to criticize her.
Well, at least she's not dangerous.
You mean like Dr. Shell? He's killed more of his fellow soldiers than the entire Russian army.
Yes, but Dr. Shell is not a wicked person.
Unlike Professor he's the most sinister person in Britain. You put yourself in danger just by bringing him here.
That might be a bit of an exaggeration. Professor has never actually killed anyone.
As opposed to Mercy Kilpatrick. Everyone around Miss Kilpatrick ends up dead, and not just her husbands.
But those were accidents.
Not as disastrous as those caused by that reckless A.L. Barrett. His foolhardy behavior usually ends up with a casualty. Or 2.
Usually, but not always. I mean, who can predict the future?
Amelia Drydoppel can. I saw Miss Amelia yesterday. Her and her future self.
Hello!
They had some dire predictions for you, dear.
Well, you know how her predictions don't always turn out as expected. Like dreaming of death means you'll be in love.
Oh, speaking of which, I saw that you brought Captain Chance von Thundermast here. Did you know that all the women who fall in love with the captain die? Mysteriously.
Well, Chastity dear, you certainly know everything about everyone.
I certainly do, Lila dear. I certainly do. Care to hear what I've heard about you?
Kratos interrupted the connection. Unfortunately, we no longer have any time for you.
I've heard that one of your guests is trying to kill you.
What? The art and craft of posting self-depicted portraits.
Greetings.
Why did you bring in this explosive fanatic? Are you sure that this is quite safe?
Positive.